शदीद झटके हुए। फिर जब झटके रुके तो ऊपर देखा तो कुछ बिल्डिंगें थी, कुछ भी नहीं था।
जिससे भी पूछो यहाँ पे क्या सूरत हाल है, कौन बचा हो, तो ये कह रहे थे कि यहाँ पे कुछ भी नहीं बचा है।
शाम को जिस वक्त अफ्तारी का वक्त, उस वक्त हमारे पास 27 लाशें थी।
एक आदमी मर रहा था, किसी ने उसकी मदद नहीं की। यहाँ हर शख्स अपने आप को जाने की कोशिश कर रहा था।
8 October 2005. For those who live to tell the tale, the memories are indelible. Nearly 75,000 people lost their lives in the earthquake that struck northern Pakistan. Many more were injured. Millions became homeless. Amidst the despair, humanity's finest hour, as Pakistanis and others from around the globe rushed to help. Among them was the United States. It's a big day in Dadar, a village in the northwest frontier province of Pakistan. A coat of plaster here, a touch of paint there, and the new building for the boys' high school is almost ready. At home, Adil can scarcely contain his excitement.
मैंने नया स्कूल देखा है, बहुत अच्छा है। इसमें खेलने की जगह है, लैबोरेटरियाँ हैं और लाइब्रेरियाँ वगैरह सब कुछ है। इसमें खेलने की जगह बहुत है।
Adil's old school was reduced to rubble in the earthquake, and he himself barely made it to safety.
ज़लज़ले के दिन हम इंग्लिश पढ़ रहे थे, ज़ोर से ज़मीन हिलना शुरू हो गई और हम बाहर ग्राउंड में आ गए और हमारा साथी एक शहीद हो गया और बहुत बच्चे ज़ख्मी हुए हमारे स्कूल में।
आदिल आया, इतना ज़्यादा घबराया हुआ था, 2 दिन घर में खाना शाना कुछ भी नहीं खाया, ऐसे ही बेहोश रहते।
For the past year, Adil and his fellow students have been attending classes in tents. A new school building can't erase their pain, but it can give them a better equipped school and a fresh start.
पहले के मुकाबले में अब यहाँ पर फैसिलिटीज़ ज़्यादा हैं। 8 नए कमरे हैं, जिनमें से 3 लैबोरेटरियाँ हैं और 1 लाइब्रेरी।
This is just one of many projects funded by the United States through its development agency, USAID.
We don't do the work directly. We work through NGOs and private contractors, consultants. And so each NGO asks for a certain amount of money and then we provide it and then they do the work in the field.
For programs in the earthquake-affected area, the US has committed over $500 million as part of the coordinated Pakistani and international response.
हमारे पास एक वेल मौजूद थी, लेकिन जो सबसे बड़ी चीज़ जिसकी कमी थी हमें, वो थी एक्सपीरियंस की। तमाम इंटरनेशनल कम्युनिटी, जिसमें अमेरिकन भी शामिल थे, उनका जो एक्सपीरियंस ओवर द अदर डिज़ास्टर्स उन्होंने जो हमें आके बताया कि ये तरीके से भी काम हो सकता है, और आई थिंक उस वैल्यू एडिशन के साथ काम बहुत अच्छा हुआ।
Help from overseas, led by the US, began arriving within hours of the earthquake. It was clear this was no ordinary disaster.
We had 3.5 million people homeless. We had a Himalayan winter only 30 or 40 days away. So the main challenge, in simple, was keep the people alive until the following March. We needed to keep them alive.
More than 5,000 sorties were flown by American and Pakistan Army pilots to deliver 15,000 tons of relief supplies to the stricken areas, the biggest helicopter airlift in history. For terrified people in remote mountain villages, the US Army Chinooks offered the first ray of hope.
जो पहले हेलीकॉप्टर आया तो ये लोग सब उठ गए और खुशी से इतने मैं बयान नहीं कर सकता हूँ। ये एक जैसे यानी एक मौजज़ा नुमा हो गया है। ऊपर जब हेलीकॉप्टर को देखा, जब टेंट गिरा दिया तो लोग समझ गए कि हम फिर भी जिंदा रह सकते हैं।
जो हुकूमत अमेरिका ने हेलीकॉप्टर्स भिजवाए, ये एक बहुत ही अहम कंपोनेंट था इस रिलीफ ऑपरेशन का। ये ज़्यादा लोड ले जा सकते थे, ज़्यादा कैजुअल्टीज़ को इवैक्यूएट कर सकते थे और मुश्किल से मुश्किल तरीन मौसमी हालात में भी इन जहाज़ों ने परवाज़ें की।
Many of the injured received medical attention on board the helicopter itself.
There was a young Marine who was sitting in the restaurant with, basically Marines are taught to fight. and he'd spent the day up rescuing people, and he'd found a little baby whose head was split open, and so he, on the helicopter, took the baby, sewed up the head, and saved the baby's life. And I had seen him just when he got off the airplane, and he felt so good that he was really saving lives instead of taking lives.
At 3 US military hospitals set up in the earthquake zone, 44,000 people received medical care. In the weeks after the quake, USAID helped many people construct temporary shelters. These kept families warm and safe.
ज़लज़ले में हमारे गांव के अंदर बहुत से लोग नीचे आ गए थे। मेरी अपनी खाला मकान के नीचे आ गई थी। उसकी वजह ये है कि हमारे ऊपर छत के ऊपर लकड़ी ज़्यादा वजनी लकड़ी होती है और ऊपर मनो मिट्टी होती है। एनजीओज़ ने हमें आके 4-3 फुट की दीवार ऊपर जो है 4-5 लकड़ियाँ रख के ऊपर चादर डालनी है, इसलिए कि उसकी छत हल्की होती है।
In Muzaffarabad, the US helped camp residents get through winter with improved water and sanitation facilities. In the spring, a USAID program began to clear the mountains of debris from the streets.
Well, when I got here first, I was happy to have brought my climbing boots with me because there wasn't any streets to walk on. Everywhere was just climbing over piles and piles of rocks. It's like the whole city has just reduced and everything is 6 foot lower. Every time you walk around the city, more ground has appeared, a new path is there, a house which was completely buried by the rubble before, now you notice that it's there.
After people's emergency needs were taken care of, the focus changed to longer-term rehabilitation. USAID programs begun in April helped villagers regain ways to earn a living, often by learning better skills. These programs employ local labor, providing much-needed cash to local households. This project in Kaghan clears link roads blocked by landslides. 600 families from the villages beyond stand to benefit. Without it, the furthest village is an 8-hour trek away.
ये मेरे इलाके की ज़रूरत है, काम भी होता है हमारे इलाके का, दूसरा हमें कैश भी मिलती है, तो मैसन की कैश जो 400 रुपये फ़ी दिहाड़ी है, इसके बगैर हम मकानों के काम भी नहीं कर सकते क्योंकि मटेरियल हमारा नहीं पहुंचता.
In some areas, foot-wide walking trails are also being cleared and widened.
पहले सामान उठा के नहीं ले जा सकते थे, गधे या खच्चर इन रोडों पे, इन रास्तों पे नहीं चल सकते थे. अब जब ये वाइड हो रहा है, ऑलमोस्ट आप देख रहे हैं 3-4 फुट तक हो रहा है, तो ये बहुत आसानी से 2 आदमी कंधे से कंधा मिला के चल सकते हैं, चारपाई उठा के जा सकते हैं मरीज़ के लिए, और गधे खच्चर आसानी से चल सकते हैं, इस पर उनको कोई दुश्वारी नहीं है.
The shifting of the earth on 8th October also changed the course of streams, damaged irrigation channels, water reservoirs, and pipelines. Since then, USAID projects have rehabilitated more than 160 rural water systems, bringing not only clean drinking water into homes, but restoring sources of income as well. Rustam Khan is a miller in Kalandar Kas village. His mill is powered by water from a mountain stream. People from the village bring him sacks of corn to grind in return for a portion of the flour. On 8th October, his business ground to a halt.
ये ज़लज़ले में तबाह हुआ तो काम रुक गया. 8 महीने वो मुसलसल बंद हुआ था. वो बिल्कुल मलबे में ख़त्म हुआ.
The quake had destroyed the channel that brought water to his mill. With a wife and 5 children to support, Rustam Khan was in dire straits until a USAID program came to the area.
Save Children ने ये हमारे साथ ये तावन किया, ये मलबा उठाकर ये बनाया और मजदूरी मुझे भी दिया और कारोबार भी शुरू हुआ. अभी ये काम शुरू हो रहा है.
The project employed several men and not only restored Rustam's source of income, but brought light into 70 homes by repairing the water generator downstream. Several other programs are helping the villagers get back on their own feet. In Shinkyari, it's market day with a difference. Men and women from nearby villages have each been given a booklet of vouchers worth 3,000 rupees or $50. These can be used to purchase items such as livestock, seeds, sewing machines and water tanks.
कुछ ड्रम पानी के लिए खरीद रहे हैं क्योंकि पानी तो नहीं आ रहा, तो वो दूर दराज से लाना पड़ता है, उसकी वजह से वो लाकर ड्रमों में डालते हैं. ये काफ़ी अच्छी स्कीम है, हमें बहुत सी सहूलतें हुई हैं, काफ़ी सहूलतें हुई हैं।
The voucher program also leaves the shopkeepers happy.
अगर ये स्कीम बराह रास्त बाहर से मार्केट से ये सामान खरीद कर लोगों को दे देते हैं, यहाँ के लोग जो हैं, यहाँ के जो ताजर हैं, ये बेचारे इनको इतना फ़ायदा ना पहुँचता।
In Bagh district, a USAID partner NGO distributes livestock among vulnerable people, most of them women. The recipients have already been given training in livestock care and rearing. The women are also given garden tools, specially modified so they are lighter and easier for them to use. Nasira Bibi works with them in a little vegetable patch. The USAID program taught her to grow off-season vegetables such as garlic, spinach and chilies.
उन्होंने बताया ट्रेनिंग दी तो उन सब्जी हो गई है, तैयार है सब्जी सारी। हम खुद भी खाते हैं, लोगों को भी देते हैं। जरा कोई मांगता है वो अपने पैसे देगा वो ले जाता है, तो हमारा वक्त भी पास हो जाता है, तो उनका भी हो जाता है।
For Nasira and her family, the extra cash is very welcome.
बर्तन टूट गए, मंजियाँ टूट गई हैं, पलंग टूट गए हैं, कोई चीज़ नहीं रही। तो बेटा कोई आया नहीं था, बेटियाँ हैं दो, मियाँ और दो नाबीना।
She also received a goat, which to her good fortune happens to be pregnant.
पहले यहाँ खरीदते थे ना 15 रुपए का दूध रोज़ का, तो उन्हें अगर बकरी हो गई ना हमारी तो बच जाएंगे ना, वो 15 रुपए मुझे घर बच जाएंगे ना।
1 year down the line, the focus is on reconstruction. US funding will help rebuild schools and hospitals, improve healthcare and education, and develop the area's economy. Building back better is the aim. Construction workers are being trained in safe building practices based on a curriculum designed by a USAID partner NGO.
We want people to make their homes integrated together to act during an earthquake is like a box. Buildings of our region seriously lacks integrity between different structural elements.
These men will go on to train others, thus increasing the pool of skilled labor available in the area.
पहले कच्ची इमारतें हम तामीर किया करते थे, उस हमारे पास इल्म नहीं था, तजर्बा नहीं था, तो अब हमारे पास इल्म का इजाफा हुआ है। अगर आइंदा ज़लज़ला हो भी जाए तो कम से कम हमें कुछ मौका बचने के लिए, भागने के लिए मिल जाएगा।
Vocational training workshops enhance the skills of electricians, plumbers, welders and carpenters in the earthquake-prone region. In Bagh district, over 700 carpenters have been trained by USAID. One of them is Ayaz. Like the others, he too was given a set of power tools at the end of his training.
टूल के साथ जो हमारा पहले काम होता था, जो हम 3-4 दिन में एक दरवाज़ा लगाया करते थे, वो अब एक दिन में होना शुरू हो गया, हमारे 2-3 दिन बचना शुरू हो गए।
He's applying his newly acquired skills not only to outside jobs, but also to building his new house.
तो पहले जो हमारे जॉइंट्स वगैरह थे, जैसे ये लगा हुआ है, ये इधर आ गया, ये इधर आ गया, वो उधर चला गया, फिर इसी तरह साइडों पे लगा। पहले हम सब एक ही साइड पे लगा देते थे।
Close by is the rubble of his old home. His family was outside at the time of the quake, and he realizes how lucky they were.
तो जब मकान के ऊपर पहुंचा तो मकान गिरा हुआ था, तो छोटी बहन थी, मैंने उससे पूछा कि यहाँ अंदर कौन कौन है। उसने कहा तुम्हारे दोनों जो छोटे बच्चे हैं वो अंदर चले गए हैं। थोड़ी देर में नीचे से वाइफ ने कहा कि नहीं वो नीचे गए हुए हैं, अंदर नहीं है।
Following their training, Ayaz and the others were given a task. Each of them had to build shelters for vulnerable families in the area, or they couldn't keep the tools. Later, many of these carpenters were hired to build temporary classrooms for local schools. These provide the students not only shelter from the elements, but also impart a semblance of normalcy after a traumatic year. The road to reconstruction is a long one, but it's being built on strong foundations.
One of the programs that we're now bringing to Pakistan is our PEER program for enhanced emergency response, that will help the government train the people of Pakistan to do medical first responder and collapse structure search and rescue.
The most important pillar of this reconstruction effort is the Pakistani people themselves.
The memory that I'm going to take away from here more strongly than anything else is how fantastic the Pakistani people have been. Most of the work in the relief effort and most of the work in the reconstruction is done by the people themselves. The inherent ability of the Pakistanis to put their feet down, stand up and say, right, now we're going to move on. I mean, this is incredible.
8th October 2006. It's the opening ceremony of the Dadar Boys School. Adil and his friends are on hand to applaud and cheer. They could scarcely have imagined the country's Prime Minister and the US Ambassador visiting their sleepy mountain village. But for Adil, the highlight of the day comes with the departure of the guests.
मुझे बड़े होकर पायलट बनना है इसलिए कि यहाँ डाडर में ये वो हेलीकॉप्टर आते हैं हम दाद लेके और हमें वो बड़ा मज़ा आता वो हेलीकॉप्टर जब चलाते थे इसलिए हमने भी शौक दिल में डाला कि हम बढ़िया होकर हेलीकॉप्टर पायलट बने.
With assistance from countries like the United States, Adil and countless others can face adversity with fortitude and lead productive lives again. A better future lies within their reach.